Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel, and I'm your host for L2 Productions. And you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Beyond the Gates, or this is week 2, and it was quite explosive also. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video, and also you can share, subscribe if you are new, and you can leave your comments below. Let's get into this week's episodes. Okay. So we know that it was a showstopper on last week. This lady, Danny, she done threw a cup of through rage. She done punched Haley. She went to Bill's office and knocked that ish down. She done slapped him, done threw a drink in his face. And then the ultimate thing is that she showed up to the wedding in a black funeral attire with a veil, stops the wedding by saying that she objects, and pulls a GUN on them, a pow. We got that in the first week. Now here's the aftermath as to what's going on. So Danny holds up this wedding. She is fiery mad. It takes her a while to be reasoned to finally possibly stop the madness, but she wasn't, because she was trying to figure out who should she shoot. We got Jacob, her son-in-law, trying to reason with her. He got half of the audience to leave the area. The other half didn't. I guess that was more of the Dupree family side that kind of stayed around. Meanwhile, Chelsea's phone was put down and she was on live. And all of this was captured. At this point, Danny had tried to humiliate Bill and Haley to make them get on their knees. While they're getting on their knees, Bill ends up racing to Danny and was able to get the gun. See, when we heard the gunshot at the end of the episode last Friday, she actually shot into one of the plants. She meant to do that, but she said, next time is going to be different. And I'm going to aim at the right targets. But the gun did go off, but nobody got hurt, which was good. Danny, we don't need all of that going on for you right now. I think that the character of Danny is a mixture of Susan Lucci, Erica Kane, and Betty Broderick. This was a real life true crime story. They played it all the time on Lifetime. I'm trying to think of her name. The mom that played on Family Ties back in the 80s, Meredith Vieira, that was her name. She portrayed this woman. Basically, Betty was with her husband for a solid, 30 years. She helped to build his company. He became this really well-known and successful attorney. Then you get around into your late 40s and 50s, and he gets a midlife crisis and falls in love with his secretary. He has an affair and gets a divorce from his wife. Betty does not handle it very well. She thought that she had her life forever with this guy. It was just like she helped him. It's like she wasted most of her life. She was the soccer mom. She did everything to fulfill him, and she was left with nothing. I think for the most part, he did try to leave her some money, but I think at that point, she was just kind of more gone because of the stuff that she was put through, even during marriage. But anyways, enough chat about that. But I just feel like we got this extra woman being dramatic, you could say needing attention and needing to get her point across. And need to really have somebody to talk to, in my opinion. Anyways, so after that, nothing happened to Danny. Nobody got arrested or anything. Haley and Bill, they go on with their wedding, and now they're married. I'm not going to say congratulations, but hey. I know some people wanted some bloodshed or somebody in the grave, but not yet. It's only been a week, and I was still trying to pinpoint how to continue to hate on Bill and Haley. Like I said on last week, I understand what the circumstances was. He cheated with a family member. That is so crazy. So I was like, yeah, but it's how they were moving last week, like, oh, we just want to move on and just have our life, even though he was doing things like moving into the subdivision that the Dupree family's at. Like, why are you here? And somehow you think that you belong. And Haley wants to belong and be accepted, but it's not going to happen. It's just weird. It's just like, okay, cool. I needed something sinister to kind of pop off out of at least Bill, because Haley's too busy being nice and not really saying, I don't care. Like, you want all these privileges, but also want to be liked at the same time. That's not how it is. I would prefer you to be a bitch, just so that I can hate on you. And I really need backstory because we don't have backstory as of yet, but it's only week 2. What happened as to how y'all even intermingled with each other to even want to cheat? That's what I want to know. You know, how did it start? What happened? It's quite crazy because it's how you guys are acting like everything was just so innocent and it just happened. And I don't believe it just happened. But anyways, they got married. The Dupree family went into instant protective mode. Vernon devised a strategy on what they were going to say. They were going to call for a press conference to kind of smooth things over. Nicole did offer her services as a psychiatrist and someone who's been there to burn out the fires, especially for Danny. Let me say something and speak on her behalf, since I am a psychiatrist and all that. So, Danny, the family, they have it, the press conference. Now the journalists are on it, and they're not really letting the Dupree family slip out of this. And I had no problems with that. I mean, come on, y'all. So then Danny ends up showing up to the press conference after they already told her, don't come. We got this handled. She said, look, I'm not going to let my family go through any ridicule. I did this, I take full accountability. This is what happened, and Bill shows up and tries to thwart some of that stuff after Haley begged him not to go there because, hey, this is still our honeymoon and all that, but he wasn't listening. From the early episodes of this week into what he did in the last episode, you could tell that Haley's just not going to be really satisfied in this marriage because there's always going to be this lingering something between Danny and Bill, especially at how they broke up and got a divorce. You really think that Bill's moving on? But no. Y'all could have said, well, Danny's not really moving on. True. But later on in the week, she at least gets some empowerment to do something different. All right, so meanwhile at the hospital, remember Andre and Ashley. They're in an elevator, it stops, it gets stuck, and they also have a pregnant woman. All of a sudden, her water breaks. Ashley ends up delivering the baby. Andre's helping her do what she can to help get this baby out. They deliver the baby. I think the mother wanted to name the child after them. I forgot it. But y'all can let me know in the comments if that actually happened. Anyways, even with that, let me make sure I'm reading my notes, all that good stuff. Yeah, okay, so we do know about Leslie telling Eva about her father. I guess Eva already knew, but we are finding out that Ted is her father. And from things that happened from early this week until mid this week, I really don't think that Leslie is telling the full truth. And I think it's what she has concocted in her head and is using Eva to help bring forth her plan at whatever revenge that she wants against Ted. I still want to believe that Ted is a good guy. How Dana, aka Leslie, is trying to make it to be is like, I don't know. Anyways, Eva's first day. This is like the next day or whatever. She arrives early at Nicole's office. She's got everything together. Nicole's coffee's on the way, all that stuff, and making a good impression on Nicole. So you go from hairdresser to all of a sudden needing to be a secretary, an entrepreneur. I don't know why nobody did question it, but somebody does question it. But nobody's really getting it. I think everyone is trusting Mona's judgment as far as what Mona knows about Eva and Dana Leslie. And to be honest, unfortunately, Mona made a bad call that she didn't know about. She's not aware of it. So anyway, she's there, Eva's there, but then she starts snooping around the office. Kat comes in, and immediately the red flags are wearing because Eva's looking through one of Dr. Nicole's red flag waiting. She's looking through Nicole's desk, and she wanted to ask, what are you looking for? And she said she's looking for a stapler. And then they said she said it's right there. Oh, see, I'm still trying to learn around here. Thank you, blah, 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 blah. And Kat just basically looks her up and down and reads her up and down from a classist and materialistic level. And also feel that there are bad vibes. Because she's really wanting to know, how does someone who was a hairstylist all of a sudden wants to be somebody's assistant? And Eva, for the most part, I mean, she wasn't convincing Kat, but she was at least cool with her responses. She's like, I don't want no beef with you, but you seem to want beef with me, blah, 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 da, 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 da. It's cool, blah, 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 blah. Kat tells Nicole what she feels. Nicole says, no, give her a chance. Mona recommended her. We love Mona, da, 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 da. And Kat's not really buying it. Later on in the week, Kat catches Eva on Nicole's computer. And she said, look, you're on this computer, but even I cannot be on her computer. And she said, well, I mean, you're her daughter, so I'm sure you're not supposed to be on there. And she said, well, let me see what my mom thinks about this, because I think I've caught you, you know. She has another confrontation with Nicole, and basically said, look, Nicole was like, well, she said, Mona, what did she say? Something she said. She said something. I know she said something. Whatever. What is this? I can't remember. But basically, Mona is smart, but Eva is slick. And she wants her mother to please trust her on this. I just have a bad feeling about it. I think where Kat loses people is when she's being mean and nasty as far as this whole classist, demeaning type of way of operating. It's not cool. It's one thing to show the red flags of your own feelings, but then you want to be rude and insulting, especially to someone that's not being rude to you. So we'll get back to that in just a second. We're going to go into Martin and Smitty's home. Smitty's questioning Martin a little bit more concerning his dreams and even what happened with Danny. Of course, they saw things online in regards to it, but he wanted more in-depth questions, and he was like, He wasn't really forthright with Smitty about it, and then the press tried to call him about it, and he's just saying he has no comment. He said he loves his sister, da-da-da-da-da. Quote that. Martin thinks that if they avoid whatever, then next week another scandal will be along and they'll forget all about Dan. Which in the internet age, yes, it's more than likely that people will forget about it. So maybe his strategy will work, or maybe not. Back at home after the press conference, Miss Anita reads Danny down. And just basically saying, look, you really did a doozy. And even though we forced you to come to this wedding, I'm not giving you an apology. I said, this is how black people act. Like, okay, that is so cool. It's so cool that we're getting the black connection with these writers. Because some of the things I can see some of my family acting like. No, we're not in the country clubs and all that good stuff. But at the same time, there's some familiarity and some groundness about them that makes me, that I can feel connected to the family in some type of way. I said, go ahead, Anita. Still, Danny takes accountability for what she's done. She does feel a way about her bringing her to the thing or whatever. What else? So, with Ashley and Andre, they bond because they helped deliver this baby. Derek is feeling insecure and he's getting jealous because now they share this special thing. But Derek, aren't you a fire person? So you're like got EMT type of training. So you could help deliver a baby, right? Or at least be there. You know how to at least attend medically to some level for somebody in that need, right? So I don't know why you are so shaken, but obviously Andre is a threat. That's all I gotta say there. This is the following day. This is like Wednesday or so. We learned a little bit about Veronica's husband. Veronica's husband was at the wedding. He's a black guy that she was talking to towards the end of the episode on Friday. We're finding out that Doug is a gambler. Veronica is a cheater. We also find out later in the week that Veronica and Doug, they have children, but they were twins, and they're now out of the house. They're empty nesters, but it's also boring at home, at least for Vanessa. But you might as well say it's also for Doug. Doug is a psychiatrist, I believe. At least a doctor. I'll just say he's a doctor. He's really... So, it looks like two bored people that don't know what to do because of their lives have shifted, because they don't have that same responsibility, or that era is over for them. He finds his entertainment through gambling, and she finds hers through men. It's so interesting how Veronica and the people that she's cheating on, because she's not just cheating with one person. Like, she has multiple men. She has fun with them. And she flirts out in the open, which, like, are you trying to get caught? This is like you don't want to ruin the legacy and history that you got, but at the same time, you're using no discretion at all. And basically, since Doug is so focused on gambling, he's not really putting two and two together. Because basically this waiter came over to take Veronica's order, and they really set up a sex session. And he was going to come see a house that his brother is interested in that's not in the city right now, or even in the state. and basically they go to this house and they get to lovemaking, as they say, on soap operas. So it's like, it's very interesting how she leaves. Now it looks like Danny's not really aware of what she's doing, but it's quite, I guess it just doesn't look like she's having any discretion about herself, in my opinion. So Jacob, he's at the police precinct. He's trying to find out first about Laura's accident. He talks with Ted about the accident. There wasn't a license plate on the motorcycle, so and they can't ID the face, so it looks like they've really hit a brick wall in this whole case. Eva's overhearing that, and later on she's gonna have a talk with her mother about it. But anyways, still at the precinct, Jacob's father, who is the captain, he comes by and talks with him. You know, he feels a certain way because he couldn't really stop the situation with Danny. He did what he could, as his father's trying to say, but he doesn't feel like his good was good enough since he's a trained cop and really wanted to do things by the book. But his father tries to reassure him that, you know, every situation may not end successful, but eventually the gun was taken away from her and nobody was hurt. But it's still bothering him. Later on in this week, he's going to get his I can't call it revenge, but he's going to get his satisfaction out of what he wasn't able to do as a cop. So it looks like Jacob wants to walk the fine line in regards to being a good cop and abiding by the rules. I wonder how many he's had to have bent for the Dupree family. I mean, Bill has done it, so I'm kind of wondering. Because this week is kind of opening up as to how shady some of the other members of the group, of the family are. And I think it's cool. We need a messy family. And if everybody's just like angelic and just have people coming up against you, it just doesn't, there's no layers. So we need that. It gives us a lot to talk about. Marvin, whom we thought was this one that just wanted to continue the legacy and wanted to be just like his grandfather and doing everything right and all this good stuff. He is, but he's got some stuff at home that he's got to really deal with. Smitty, during a breakfast, was talking with Nicole, his mother-in-law, about possibly going back into journalism. Marvin had gotten up for some reason and he came back, but before he entered into the dining area, he stopped there to overhear what Smitty said. When they got home, now he felt like it was a betrayal because Smitty had not told Martin about his desire to go back into investigative reporting. And basically, Marvin said, look, what works is what we're doing, and you're not going to be changing. You know, he wants to be fulfilled, Smitty does, and the children are growing up, almost late teens. The daughter is 16, so that's the last one out of the house. So what else is he going to do within 2 years or whatever? And it's out of the question. Martin is talking to him crazy, and I think right then and there, I would have tripped him or something, saying, who you talking to? So then he's got to go cool off. He comes back and says, you know, thank you for allowing me to cool off. It's like, well, what other choice does he have? You weren't going to listen to him anyways. So they start talking, and he says, you know, I kind of think I want to get back into journalism. And then he said, conversation over. And Smitty's like, no, we're not doing this. Everything seems to be revolved around Martin's career and what he wants. And he says, you know, you agreed to this lifestyle as far as you taking care of the home and all of that, and that's how it's going to remain. Got it? Now, and then he says in the discussion, Smitty does not agree to that, though. And honestly, don't agree to it. If this was a hetero couple, this would be the same way as how men will treat women. Martin wants to be the dominant person. He said something so key in one of the episodes. It was just like, oh, you want to be the star, the only star in this marriage. Because he said, if you start doing investigative reporting, then you're going to be known as this and that, and you'll be the main person, and we can't have that. I said, oh. And then some, I'll just say, some couples do need that. Both cannot be stars. I could agree to that. However, someone dimmed their light just to have a family and a marriage with you. That's not cool. So as much as you say that you detest Bill, are you more like Bill, Martin? You may not be cheating. And let me say this. It's cool that we got a gay couple, but I need the gay couple to have the same amount of respect as far as romance happening. And I don't see no romance between Martin and Smitty. And I don't think that's cool. So hopefully there's something in the future or somebody cheating on somebody. Because I need to see these gays getting it on in the afternoon. just like we see in Danny and Andre. Andre is knocking it out of the park at this point. I can just segue into that. To the point where Danny is ready to give up her anger against Bill and Haley. She keeps telling Andre, no, we're done. Sit, da 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 da, and then goes back to him. Anyway, she goes and pays a visit to Haley. She still rips her a new one, but at the same point, she says, look, I'm giving up whatever I had against you. At this point, you stay over where you're at. I'm going to stay over where I'm at, and now you guys do your thing. I'm over it. Haley likes the idea. After Danny leaves, she talks with Bill, and then she says, oh, it's not going to be over. This is just temporary, and she's going to come at you with something more. So just get ready for that. But Haley's more convinced that she was really offering an olive branch. But I think Haley at this point still wants the approval of people that don't like her no more, due to her. Let's see. We got most of everything. Andre stirs the pot on Derek. Oh, Derek and Ashley, they're having a double date with Jacob and Naomi. There was something where Andre came in and kind of shakes up Derek while they're doing this double date. I don't know if I see a future between Andre and Ashley. I guess because he went on and had sex with Danny, and it doesn't seem like that they could just hit it and quit it. So I don't know, but y'all can let me know. And also let me point out that people are saying how boring Derek and Ashley are. I mean, they're the supporting characters of main characters, Naomi and Jacob, and to whomever else. Now, if these were black characters, this is exactly what would be going on, and they wouldn't even have a storyline like this. It would just basically y'all going out and giving advice to the white main characters. So there would be no expectation on a Derek or Ashley if they were black. Enjoy the ride and enjoy this show being a black show. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, because you got GH, Days, and Bold and Beautiful and Young and the Restless to do all that, if that's what you need, you know. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I don't know why I'm saying sorry. Anyways, let me wrap this up. Blah, 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 blah. So we get the entrance of John Lindstrom. John Lindstrom is famous for his time on General Hospital the most. I think it was on like Ryan's Hope back in the day too. I didn't watch Ryan's Hope. I was too young for that. But we know him for being psychiatrist Kevin and his devilish twin Ryan. Also, he played on As the World Turned for a little while as Craig. But it's cool to see him over here. He's basically helping Doug out, get him some money so he can gamble some more. So obviously he's going to be in some type of debt for a while and stay there. But hey, that's drama. And his name is going to be Joey on this soap opera. At this point, Eva has solidified herself with the company, with Ted and Nicole. You know, Eva's trying to stay there long term. At least with Nicole, that position will be over, but it looks like Ted is interested. Ted is kind of, I don't think, nurturing usually goes to women, but hey, whatever. Ted is showing some care for Eva, and he said, look, I don't really pay attention to what my daughter is saying concerning you because it's not a concern of mine. I think that you are an awesome person. It throws her off because of how her mother has been telling her stuff and how she has shaped things. That's why I believe that Leslie has been implanting lies, and she's just going off what's inside of her head as to how she thinks that it went down and didn't get the expectations that she wanted out of Ted. That's just my opinion, but y'all can say whatever you need to say. Let's see, I already went to Danny's back and off. At the end of the episode on Friday, Bill requests to see someone immediately. On Friday's episode, Jacob calls Naomi and gives her this "I love you," like almost like something's about to happen. Naomi was kind of like, "I love you too," like they love each other, but it was just kind of a little bit off or whatever. But she didn't really pick up that something could be wrong. But it was just like, oh, okay, kind of a surprise or whatever. Andre sends a text to Danny. Danny's out at the bar someplace saying that I feel used. And Danny replied back, oh, you were. And it was thoroughly used. And then, of course, Andre still is trying to hold out hope that he's going to have hope. And Danny says, never again means never again, especially tonight. And then Andre says, what's tonight? Then I think Veronica came over, or she ended up calling Chelsea or whatever. But or Chelsea called her, but she just said, Chelsea, you know, we're moving forward with your modeling career and all that. And I'm all the way in engaged with you to help you in getting your modeling career off and going further than what it is. Da, 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 da. And I have an announcement, and I need you to come by the family home. Chelsea agrees. Her and Kat have a discussion about Eva. And Chelsea is trying to ground Kat like, look, you're really sounding like a mean girl, like some high school mean girl, doing some of the stuff that you're doing towards her. But she says, I know I'm right about this person. Again, you can be right. It's the way that you're coming off, and it makes you look like you are the crazy one, especially since Eva's able to hold her composure. But they talk about the whole handbags business that they're trying to go into. At this point, Chelsea is reluctant to tell Danny about her plans to quit modeling. Kat says you need to do it now, but I think she's just going to hold off or whatever at this point. Kat and Eva, Kat and Chelsea. Okay, mean girl. All right, so anything else happened in the episode? Danny gets to the house, and she says that she's having a rebirth, and she's forgetting all of this stuff with Bill, and she's moving forward. Everyone praise her, hallelujah. Music is going, the piano's going, a little bit singing. They do a little model runway situation with Danny first, and then Chelsea, and then Mama, she gets up. Like, I love this. I love this. Even in soaps, family moments are really reduced to Christmas time or Thanksgiving. And I think that they've lost that quality in daytime. Or if there's a funeral or a wedding. Like, let's get together and just, let's have a meal together. At least these lovely folks get up and go to the country club to have breakfast a lot of mornings. So you can see that it's established that family means something, and we need to sit together in some type of way, form, or fashion. They can have a bad week, but hey, by the end of the week, we celebrating each other and all that good stuff. So it was cool. So, let's see. Oh, so at the hospital, I forgot about this before we move on. Dana is there. Dana Leslie is there. And she's in this new wig, and she's just hiding around. Eva sees her and says, hey, you're going to ruin everything that you have been talking about and wanting to happen or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And all Dana says, look, I'm fixated on getting revenge. And when I'm done with Ted and Nicole, they're going to regret ever getting together. And then she gets on the elevator. Next week is about to be quite crazy because we see Leslie on the rooftop. And I would love to know what's going on there. But it's giving me a little bit of Vivian Alamain that happened, well, when was it? In 93, Vivian and Carly. But I'll talk about that next week. So, to go back to the Dupree family home, after she's announcing that she's going to be bill-free, Danny did, all of a sudden Jacob comes in. And Vernon was like, what are you doing here? You're here for leisure visits, right? And then Jacob says, Danny Dupree, you're under arrest. And then he reads her the Miranda rights at this point. So it's interesting, and who really knows how this is going to turn out? Because a family member has now arrested Danny. Especially how they all pulled together and all that good stuff. But he is so by the book that it may get him in trouble with his family. But I'm loving it. It's interesting to see Martin the way that he is, and I'm kind of glad that he's not cookie cutter. But I don't like how he's treating Smitty. Y'all tell me your thoughts about this week and what you want to see happen and what are your predictions. That's all I do have. Please like, share this video, and also you can subscribe. And you can leave your comments, as I said before. Until the next one, peace.